I'm of the mind that if you are going to hold a standard to a party, you do your best to hold that standard across the board. I was on Twitter and I was getting I was getting lambasted for calling out PlayStation fanboys for complaining about Xbox and a rumor that Xbox wants 30% of its profit margins, or they want to increase their profit margins by 30%. The way the news article dropped, you can already tell that there's some interesting motive here. And somewhere, somehow, it sent people into a tizzy. But I'm looking and saying, well, hold on. I remember cheering PlayStation on to go multi-plat so that they can make more money, to actually move their games to Xbox if necessary so that they could make more money and compete. In fact, I was very specific about the areas that I wanted PlayStation to be in. For instance, one of those areas was I wanted PlayStation, I've always wanted PlayStation to be in the Piscatella 15. You cannot live in a world and expect to have fair market when Xbox holds a majority of the live service part. I know those of you that enjoy, the tit for tat and the console war and all that stuff, it's probably funny because, yes, Xbox is bodying PlayStation in this area, but I gotta tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this ain't it. If Xbox were to reach the dominating form that it's pursuing, believe you me. In fact, they haven't even gotten as close as y'all perceive. They're already raising prices, covering up all of their holes. They've increased the price of consoles. Game Pass has gone up in price. In fact, remember I told y'all when Game Pass hit $20, I said to y'all, I'm out. I'm the guy who told y'all that businesses need to be fighting from a competitive standpoint. Why? Because everything trickles down to bro and all of us over here. That's how it works. Are you listening to me? That's how it works. I know everybody wants to basically sit back and hail and cheer their team. Listen to me. Again, I know you want to sit back and hail and cheer your team, but you can't get carried away that one of them has $4 trillion backing them, and they're not leaving gaming. They're not interested in leaving gaming. The moment they put $80 billion, you might as well have called that $80 billion a blood oath. I still see PlayStation fanboys saying, oh, they're going to leave. Oh, my gosh, you have no idea. Many of you don't even really know what's going on. You still sit in your little bubbles and you think that basically ignoring PlayStation's deficits is going to somehow cover. Look at PlayStation users complaining last year on Reddit. I said last year, 6 months ago, about the quality of Game Pass compared to PlayStation Plus. Keep in mind that those games that were there are still there and you can capture them with other Game Pass subscriptions because they already were put in there at the time. Keep in mind that the ecosystem doesn't lock you in one place and people are looking outside. When PlayStation started to sit there and talk about its own profit margins, I listened in. They did so in June. This was not a rumor. In the case of Xbox, it's still an unverified rumor. In the case of PlayStation, it's a reality that they've been wanting to raise their operating margin by 10% to 10% or more. And when they said 10%, I thought that was probably where it was going to stop. I thought, the investors were going to pretty much say, okay, that's about it. But do you guys know that the investors did not stop at 10%? That PlayStation is going for more? And they also not only tell you that they're going for more, they tell you how they're going to achieve it, but nobody listened in. And I feel the need to play this video one more time. Those of you who've watched my channel long enough, I can give you a break. I can spare you a break on this one. Y'all can log out, maybe go do something, hang out, because this is probably going to be like the 100th time I'm actually playing this video. But we all know that this is insane. And honestly, I want PlayStation to be competitive, but I'm not a fan of the price increases anyways. But I've always talked about things like what Lynn Azar said here, which is in my opinion, a cost mitigating way for the customer, for them to make money without basically hanging the cost on your neck, which will be multi-platform. But some of you keep saying exclusives matter. And I'm like, well, which one do you want? For exclusivity, you got to pay more. For multi-plat, you get to at least get that cost mitigated by others on other platforms. That's how economics works. It's called opportunity cost. Please listen to Lynn Azar here.
we remain committed to contributing meaningfully to Sony Group's MRP target of operating profit CAGR of 10% or more and cumulative operating profit margin of 10% or more.
So they give you their numbers in plain sight, in open, 10%. Y'all are hearing rumors that Microsoft wants 30% from Xbox. I asked somebody today on Facebook, on Twitter. I said, okay, they were like, oh, this is the time for you to, go after Xbox. I said, okay, what am I going to go after Xbox for? A rumor? What if the rumor is true? I'm going to go after them for actually wanting to increase their profits when everybody around them wants to do the same. And they told me that the problem is the 30% that Microsoft wants to increase their profit margin or at least hit. And I'm like, you mean to tell me I need to criticize Microsoft for a technical 20 extra percent over Sony, of which even Sony, in the second part of this video, has investors still asking them, so when you hit that particular margin target, how do you plan to go further? Listen to it yourselves.
How do you expect the financial profile of your business to evolve over the long term?
So again, the business fundamentals are strong, and we expect this.
Did you hear that? How do you, if investor asks you, how do you expect your financial profile to evolve? He ain't talking about you evolving it lower. He's not being like, oh, how are you going to how are you going to evolve and lose money? Why did people, nobody listened to this stuff in June? I'm the only one. I feel like I'm crazy. I'm over here on the internet, and I feel like the supposed institutes or institutions that are supposed to be giving you full context are starving you on one side and then feeding you basically, disorder on the other side. It's the worst thing ever. Keep listening.
To continue across many key areas. First, strong sales growth driven by highly engaged and multi-generation MAU. And then an increase in the PS Plus, we spoke about that, increase in PS Plus revenue due to the shift to the higher tier and also our price revision. And then
Did you hear that? MAU chasing, sales chasing. They laid it out. This was actually a scripted thing too. It wasn't even off the cuff. Like they had time to pick the questions and give the answers. And yet you all are sitting here on an Xbox rumor and freaking out and saying it's the end of Xbox. Multi-generational MAU. Where is the media? Where is the freaking press that's supposed to be doing this? Yet a school teacher is the one that's actually sitting here and listening to the financial profile comments of these companies. Yet, we're over here peddling in some rando anonymously telling you what Xbox is targeting. What? And now there's an entire frenzy over it? Keep listening.
First-party live services becoming more consistent, predictable, and growing revenue stream. And also with the continued strength and reliable delivery of our tentpole titles, incremental revenue also generated by going off console.
To me, consumer friendly, you don't get those price revisions if off console sales bring in money. But guess what? The whole PlayStation Coalition, JTech, Nib95, all of you, oh, they don't even make a lot of money on PC. You should be praying they make a lot of money on PC. What kind of self-defeating madness are you guys all praying for and begging for? So they should increase prices of services? They did. They should increase prices of hardware? They did. It's exactly what Xbox is doing. I was telling all of you, I said, Starfield, what is it still doing exclusive on Xbox? I've been saying this stuff. You guys are over here. I got people on the internet basically telling me not. What are y'all even saying? I have like 500 videos to body every single parameter that you will bring. Why? Because I sit there and I'm looking at this thing going, well, hold on now. Where am I going to spend less money? That's all I'm thinking. Or no money at all. I don't know about these PlayStation elitists that always talk about everybody else being poor. Like, oh, yeah, high quality. God, I can't do it. Y'all are really going to take sensibility out of the conversation. And honestly, maybe y'all deserve it because I got to tell you, these gaming companies, Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox have gotten away so much with just pure emotional fandom that most gamers don't necessarily even think about playing chess. And the worst part is the oh my gosh, the audacity of the so-called fanboy conversations that make it sound like anybody who wants a better value is some kind of a rugrat. It's so annoying. Get out of here, all of you. What kind of nonsense anti-consumer stance are y'all taking? And then you want to go ahead and foment rumors. And even if the rumor is true, why should have? That's exactly what I'm telling you. If the rumor is true, what are you still doing on Xbox? Why aren't you on PC? And I got people on the internet telling me Xbox is shooting itself in the foot. What do I care if you're going to sit there and not go ahead and hedge yourself? You know and have the information, but you want to sit there. Oh, my plug and play experience. Is your plug and play experience that important to you? Xbox doesn't really, consider too much of it when it comes to getting their profit margins. I mean, I'm telling you, how about PlayStation? They don't care about your so-called exclusivity. They're going to be yo PCA. That's what it's going to be. What are y'all talking about? Oh, it doesn't come. Somebody told me, well, it doesn't go there until 5 months or 15 months later. I'm like, this conversation has gotten out of hand, bro. I got to tell you, this has got to be the craziest year ever in the whole wide world. It's the worst thing. You got a bunch of people who are basically, I'm out, man. I'm done.